times on the campaign trail. I've been with him at the rallies. I know you've been there covering them too, Peter, that he is focused on launching the largest mass deportation operation in American history of illegal criminals. And if you are an individual, a foreign national, who illegally enters the United States of America, you are, by definition, a criminal. And so therefore you are subject to deportation.
I apologize for interrupting. So to be clear, it's not violent criminals do not receive precedence in terms of the deportations taking place.
The president has also said two things can be true at the same time. We want to deport illegal criminals, illegal immigrants from this country, but the president has said that, of course, the illegal criminal drug dealers, the rapists, the murderers, the individuals who have committed heinous acts on the interior of our country and who have terrorized law-abiding American citizens, absolutely, those should be the priority of ICE, but that doesn't mean that the other illegal criminals who entered our nation's borders are off the table.
Immigration. Of the 3,500 arrests ICE has made so far since President Trump came back into office, can you just tell us the numbers? How many have a criminal record versus those who are just in the country illegally?
All of them, because they illegally broke our nation's laws and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. I know the last administration didn't see it that way, so it's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are.
As of yesterday, ICE has resumed deportations to the country of Cuba.
Almost 50,000 Cubans from the Miami area in Florida are facing deportations.
I will vote for Donald Trump.
Hello guys, and welcome to the J Report. In today's video, we're going to talk about Cubans for Trump and how they regret their vote for Trump after his deportation orders, especially Cubans on asylum. A lot of them are now regretting their decision and crying, asking black people for help. We'll also talk about how black Americans saw this coming from a mile away and tried to warn them. If this is the kind of content that you enjoy, please consider subscribing, liking and sharing so that YouTube may recommend it to a wider.
You may have heard many Cubans with permanent residency may now be facing deportation after having returned to Cuba with their permanent residence card. And this is because when you file for asylum and you are granted asylum, and many of these individuals obtain their permanent residency after seeking asylum successfully, they're essentially saying that they're scared to return to their home country. And so when they did return to Cuba, now they are being flagged for committing fraud. And if in fact you travel back to your home country, whether you're from Cuba or not, if you have asylum granted and you are now a permanent resident, you should be very, very wary of traveling back to your home country and not being placed in secondary inspection when you re-enter the United States. It is obvious that you're going to be flagged, and I've been saying this for many years. You shouldn't even travel back if you are a U.S. citizen and you became a U.S. citizen by way of permanent residency. Back if you are a U.S. citizen and you became a U.S. citizen by way of permanent residency by way of an asylum granted. At any point, you are subject to a review of that, and if it is determined that you became a U.S. citizen through fraud or a permanent resident through fraud, they can try and place you in removal proceedings to take away your citizenship and or your permanent residency. So let this be a warning for anybody considering returning to your home country after affirmatively and successfully getting asylum in the United States, because this will likely flag immigration and give them a reason to place you in removal proceedings in an attempt to strip you of your status.
Trump supporters are now upset with Donald Trump's immigration policies because they are directly affecting them and their families. Now, this is specifically Cuban American Trump supporters who thought likely that Donald Trump's policies wouldn't affect them at all. It would only affect people that didn't like Trump, that he didn't like, but not them. Take a look at what Congresswoman Salazar had to say, who was a Cuban American and a Trump supporter. I'm urging Homeland Security to protect Cubans awaiting legal status adjustment through the Cuban Adjustment Act. Don't penalize them for Biden's screw-ups. Well, I have news for you, Ms. Salazar. This is not Biden who is doing this. This is happening to your constituents, their family members, to Cubans looking to come to America because of Donald Trump. You campaigned alongside him. He told you what he was going to do, and it was going to affect everyone. everybody. Now, I, for one, actually feel bad for the people who want to come here and have a better life. But for the people who voted for Donald Trump, this is what you get. Welcome to the find out phase. Hope you enjoy your stay.
Many studies have revealed that Cubans are among the highest rated voters of Donald Trump. And it was no exception in the 2024 election. They actually got the highest numbers of voting for Trump, higher than on the 2016 election and the 2020. So the numbers keep growing for these Cubans supporting this great orange leader. Pero espérate, ¿qué es lo que está pasando? Ah, yes, Trump has decided to eliminate the humanitarian program for Haiti, Venezuela. ¡I'm cubano, caballero! ¡Fíjate eso! So the guy that you're always supporting, and you think he was, just eliminated one of the largest programs that benefits you. Look around and find out.
Dear Cubans, I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked of the Venezuelans. But here's the thing. So you thought your racism was going to save you from those consequences. And they didn't. Well, the only thing I can say is, have a nice trip, bye.
For dry foot policy during his last week as presidency in January of 2017. Since then, Cubans who have entered the United States at port of entries either by land or by water are being processed differently when they present themselves to the Border Patrol agents. In the past, Cubans will want to present themselves because then the CBP officer would issue what's called a parole, and then the Cuban would enter the United States, wait 1 year and 1 day, and then apply for their 10-year lawful permanent resident status. Since 2017, ending on which port of entry you go to, which CBP officer you have, they'll either parole you or they'll detain you or they'll give you what's called an order of show cause, and all of these different manners of entry carry different types of benefits associated with them. It all gets very complicated and very technical, but to answer your question, no, there is no more wet foot, dry foot.
Well, yeah,
Latinos in all parts of the community really needs to have a hard conversation about racism in the Latinx community. But I'm going to do a little bit of education for my fellow Cubans over here. Although it never hurts to learn too much, you're going to stick around. The reason why so many Cuban Americans vote Republican and are racist in the United States is a really, really long history, but I'm going to give you the baby version of it. When Fidel Castro came to power in 1959, he instilled communism. His promise was to overthrow the rich and redistribute all the wealth and riches to the poor. I'm sure you know, just like in the United States, that most people who hold the wealth in Cuba were white, and the poor Cubans were black. The United States was committed to helping Cuba as an anti-communist country, so the United States granted them political asylum. This means the Cubans were allowed to come here, no matter what. Wet foot, dry land. But most of the ones that fled were against it white. So when Cubans vote for Trump, they say it's because they're anti-communist. They don't understand why other Latinos can't just come here legally like they did. This generation, don't be like them.
So what do you tell people who voted for an administration that is currently telling them they are deporting them? ICE is raiding their homes, whether you're on the street, whether you're driving, whether you're the family, they don't care. They're raiding them on the streets, in the family homes, and checking your status. If they find you are here in America illegally, then you are literally taken to detention, and of course they'll open up your process and you'll be deported away from America, away from your family. That is what is happening right now. So Cubans, Americans right now, they are crying. Latin Americans are crying, and basically the community of Latinos, the Cubans, Americans, people of color right now, they are literally crying. Even the Asians are literally crying because the administration is really targeting their communities, and they are literally telling them, you know what, we are deporting you guys whether you like it or not. We have put ink to paper, it has become a law, and now literally if you are deported from America, it's accepted by the law. That is what's happening. So who's to be blamed? Who is to be blamed? The reality is Cubans American, they were given the easiest way to enter America. When Fidel Castro came to power, he literally took properties, money, assets from the rich white Cubans and gave it to the black Cubans. So the rich white Cubans who were expelled from Cuba, they were given easy way to enter America by American government at that time. All right, so these white Cubans who moved to America, they settle in America, they have families in America, so literally mentally they have this privilege where they think they are better than black communities, they are better than they think they're better than other communities of color, so where they want to always associate themselves with the whites in America. So whatever the whites are doing, basically that's exactly what they want. Even in terms of voting, that's what exactly they want. They don't want to be associated with, to do with anything with the black. That is what's happening, and that's the reason why they voted the way they did, knowing very well that the current administration, they did promise that they are going to do a lot of mass deportation. So in their mind, the Cubans, American, thought that, you know what, it's only going to affect other people of color, but not me or my family or my friends or my community. That's what they thought, forgetting that in their community they have majority of people who are literally with zero papers, no status at all in America. So now they're crying, they say, oh, we were betrayed, oh, they promised us this and now they have turned their back on us, oh no, why are they doing this mass deportation, oh, where the black community to help us? So basically right now, you know, there's that back and forth, that cry for help, but in reality, when they, during the campaign time, when they were being told by the black community that you guys, you know, vote for the Democrat, because at the end of the day, this current administration, if you vote for them, they're going to mass deport your people. But somehow this white, the Cuban Americans, the white, the Cuban community, the Latin community, the Asian community, they thought, you know what, come on, you know, we are associated by white, we look like white people, oh, you know, they cannot do that to us, oh no, no, you guys are lying, no, 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 and now here we are. Fast forward right now, people are crying, they say, please, please, we need to change the policies. How can you change the policy when the current administration, when they ran for campaigning, they said this is one of their policies, one of their major pillar of running for campaign. They say they want to do mass deportation of people, especially who come here in America undocumented, who came here through the back door, and now it's affecting everybody. So there are people in the communities who are the Latin community, the Asian community, the Mexican community, who know somebody or they're directly affected by because one person or someone they know, or the communities like that, people are being mass deported, families are being separated left, right and center, friends are being torn apart, people are making losses left, right and center, people have lost jobs. So there's a lot of chaotic is happening right now as a result of this policy. So who's to be blamed for this? Who is to be blamed for this? And the Cuban American community, they need to take accountability, they need to take responsibility, they need to stop giving excuses, because at the end of the day, if you repeat the same pattern and expecting to get different results, it's literally you burying your head in the sand. That's basically what's happening. So they need to take accountability, they need to be responsible for the choices they make, because you're being told 98% of the Cuban American, the Latin community, the Asian community, they voted for the current administration, they voted for the Republic party to be in power. So they need to take to be aware, to ask themselves questions, they need to do research, they need to, you know, to ask those tough questions among themselves, so that come the next election, they vote for the party that has the best interest at heart. Because right now, people are suffering, the community is suffering, and people are crying, and families are torn apart. So let me know about this video. Who is to be blamed? And at the Latin community, the Cuban community, the Asian community, are they right to say, oh, they need help? Are they right to blame other communities? Let me know what you think. Are they right to blame other black community, the black community? Are they right? And are they allowed to complain? Let me know what you think, and drop your comments. And yeah, this is the fuck season. They say you fuck around, you make stupid mistakes, you end up suffering, and this is what people are suffering right now. They did a stupid thing and now they're suffering, and unfortunately families are being affected, which is, I'm so sorry for that. But at the end of the day, you are being told when you do some stupid stuff, you learn lessons the hard way, and this is where people are learning the hard way. All right, let me know, and please subscribe to my channel.